the big one. Yes, billed as the highlight of the Tour of Oman. Stage 4, the Queen stage, you might say. Certainly the toughest. The Green Mountain awaiting. Well, perhaps a bit of a misnomer, but it's certainly green in the valleys here. And Saltaya in Samail, starting point today. So climbing in the offing, and with many of the world's greatest climbers and indeed Grand Tour specialists here, and smiles for Cadel Evans, of course, amongst that number. 36 years of age today. Yes, it bodes very well for a hugely combative day. Peter Sagan said this is not going to be his kind of day. Alberto Contador said that's exactly his kind of day. Well, there you are. So whether anyone's hiding anything under a bushel remains to be seen. Hard to find a bushel out here. Kids getting the day off, and indeed all the jerseys at the front, but slightly pensive despite some of the smiles, maybe from those who are nursing jerseys. Sagan holding general points and young rider classification. Tony Gallopin in the green today, and Andrea Pascalon in white, the young riders jersey. Here's your course. Not that long, 143.8, slightly amended from the first road books. Indeed, it looks like somebody got tangled up with the flag waver to the right-hand side of your screen, but underway, and a pacey start once we finally got through the neutralised stage today. As always, the singers with their wooden swords, you'll be pleased to know, so nobody getting in danger. Setting us off with a song in our heart. Not that much of a breeze today, not that it would be that important, especially late on, and well, as you can see, the Hit and Hopers went off reasonably early. Champion Systems just setting their stall out. Wasn't long before we got a break of sorts out front. A little bit of a skirmish going on before it finally settled down. First attack from Marcus Eichler. There's Team NetApp Endura dragging along with him a number of other hopefuls. In fact, 13 riders kind of thought about going for it, including, as you saw, one of the Japan national team. Well, Eichler has been doing a lot for NetApp. It's first year at this level for this team, but the Endura boys certainly know how to race and have proved so. On their tail, as you can see, Omega Pharma, always keen to keep their men in the frame. Would it be the sort of day for the classicists? Well, absolutely not. But the climb coming very, very late on. So breaks a danger, and indeed most of them being brought back until we finally got ourselves settled into what appeared to be honours even, if you like. There's our leader, along with Contador, not that far away. The red leader's jersey here on the back of Peter Sagan. Yes, two-stage wins for Sagan. I think that can be marked up as a huge success. Bradley Wiggins, well, he got kind of caught out, didn't he, on the opening stage. A tumble in front of him posted him right at the very back, minute and 40-odd seconds down. And it's not that he hasn't looked like he's had the heart today, but very much playing a team role in support of course, Froome. We'll see how Froome goes today. So time then for Gatis Smukulis to have a go here. Latvian time trial champion, 25 years of age, and former under-23 national champion, knows how to roll. Took a stage in Catalonia, which in terrain not dissimilar to this a couple of years ago, and on something of a mission. So the question is, who is he dragging along with him? Hello. Last thing you want to see is Gregory Rast bidding you good morning. Yes, he is a big powerhouse. Good ally as well. You want me to do it, he says? Absolutely. So Smukulis and Rast, and tempting some others to come along the way as well. Rast, 33 years of age now. Flanders and Roubaix regular, so a real puncher. Twice a national champion in Switzerland, of course, so he's got massive credentials, especially in the mountains. You don't become a Swiss champion without being able to climb. Won the Tour of Luxembourg a few years ago as well. So these two up front, and joining the party. Well, it wasn't long before some others decided that this was well worth a look. And Brent Buchwald, who we saw so much of in Qatar, decided that, yeah, maybe this is his kind of day. Looked pretty good as an escapee. Decent time trialist, of course, and time trialing what you need to bridge such a gap. 22-year-old did wear the leader's jersey in Qatar, but this is Oman, and it's very, very different in terms of topography. Andy Schillinger for Team NetApp Endura also in the frame here on the stage of the 5 Rings of Moscow. So, yes, different temperatures, of course. Matthias Friedman also here as well for Champion Systems, who have had some pretty good runs early on in this event. So elbows flicked out. Come on, boys, share the work. 132 kilometers to go and 35 seconds the gap at this point. Rolling, just pacing themselves nicely. And Smukulis, yes, 25 years of age, looks an awful lot older than that. Meanwhile, Greg Rast at 33 perhaps looks a little younger. There you go. Depends on how hard your upbringing was, I suppose. And bringing up the horizon, Jabal al-Akhadar, the Green Mountain. Can you see any greenery? Well, maybe that's wishful thinking. Certainly in the valleys is where the rest were chasing down here. Chasing down, I say that, but they were going backwards. 4 minutes and 25 was the gap as we hit the first intermediate sprint. So who would it be amongst the likely lads up front to go for it? Well, I can tell you that Andreas Schillinger it was that came to the nose at the right time, just edging Friedemann and Gregory Rast. I think we're just going to see them roll through this. And they do. Meanwhile, behind, Sky towards the front, and just not wishing to let these guys get too far apart. Some decent riders here, but none of them too much of a threat. Best of them Smukulis overall, 3 minutes and 29 down in the general classification. But nonetheless, look at this. And Astana as well doing a proper job. Thinking about Nibali today. Sky, likewise, and Saxo Tinkoff also sharing a bit of the load here as the pace went up and that gap started to tumble to those up ahead. So nice and pacey then. Looks nice and relaxed at this point, but a hugely challenging mountain ahead. Yes, the Green Mountain beckons, and yes, how on earth you manage to forge a life up here in one of the little nooks and crannies in this part of the world. You have to have faith in your own abilities, and indeed, perhaps the blessing of the good Lord. Look at that. We'll take a break, and we'll be back for the run for home here in Oman on stage 4. 13.5% Green Mountain awaiting. No hiding place, especially down in the valleys, and indeed not for those up front. Minute and 55 now. Peter Sagan said today was not to be his kind of day. Just a little bit too much for him, and you saw Marcel Kittel as well, who did so well at the beginning of this Omani tour. There is Bradley Wiggins, kind of looking pensive. Yeah, why wouldn't he? They are, of course, today working for Chris Froome. Still no professional win in a stage race for Chris Froome. It's a surprising stat, really, when you think how well he went in the Tour de France. Thinking about that, he comes here as team leader, wants to do well. Well, he's got some huge names to knock back if he's going to do that. Not knocking it off, the 5 up front, but just look at the pace. And Bardini, Valvoli, CSF, Inox also here and helping life. So rolling through the second sprint, it was the gap at that point around about a minute and 5. Friedman, Rast and Smukulis, just for those of you making notes, but Bonin on a charge here for Omega Pharma Quickstep. The Velits, good man for them as well, but Sky with the biggest of ambitions, perhaps. They've got things to prove to themselves as well as to everybody else. And watch out for Katusha today, as well as Saxo Tinkoff, naturally enough. Tinkoff working for Contador in their liveried gold and blue jerseys. Just over 8 kilometers to go then, 22 seconds, and well, frankly, the men up front doomed by the pace of what's coming. A big check over the shoulder by Greg Rast. It's hard to see by Greg Rast. Just watch the others disappear when they drift in front of him. He's a big man. Yes, big's not great when you come to the mountains. So One for the whippy fellas, we'll see. And who's got the whip hand today? Well, the pace, massive. And that is it for the breakaway. Back on Soleil as well, also joining the fun up front, incidentally, with Saxo Tinkoff. And the kilometres clicking away. Well, still a lot of familiar jerseys on display there for you. Tom Bonen, his national Belgian jersey, black, yellow and red, always a joy to pick out. Nicky Terpstra, also one of the quick men, just helping with the pace here, but unlikely to feature towards the end, but he'd probably argue with that. So cutting through this magnificent countryside here, destination the Green Mountain. Still trying to figure out why it's called that. There you go. Pace high, and it's setting itself up time. Who on earth will make the break? Somebody surely, but it's unlikely to happen until we get to the climb itself. Just under 6 kilometres to go. The real test coming in the very, very final kilometre when we see the Flamme Rouge. Not sure if they've got a sign up today, but nonetheless. See one earlier, and through they cut this mountain range here. Not afraid to blast through for a road. Then again, not a great deal of natural fauna in this part of the world either to be disturbed, and they're starting to shed out the back here. Bernati struggling, and he won't be alone by the end of today, and you can see what it's doing to the men up front. Contador third in line of the bouncing boys here, in fact second, I beg your pardon. There he is. Familiar rolling style. Sky also very much in touch with Froome here. So Contador looking reasonably relaxed. He's a hard man to read on occasion, likes to keep his cards very close to his chest. Not afraid to be an assassin either, Contador. More than happy to play a rough game out there. He may be diminutive in stature, but he's a huge powerhouse when it comes to these sort of days. Unlike Bobby Traxel, with that combativity jersey, he's been so great in the opening stages here, but the climb's finding him out. Likewise, Bonen, he's in very good company, and just look at what's happening up front here. Lots of gritted teeth. And lots of men going for it. Sagan, there he is, our leader. Oh, he looks like he's churning concrete, does he not? And it's setting on him. Yes. Up they go. Richie Port on the Tour of Algarve last year. And it looks like Wiggins at the back, riding it home. Job done today. He was doing some proper pacing. Indeed, it'll be thanks to him and the rest of the team if they manage to do well here today. 3:76, 3 kilometres, 3.7 kilometres remaining, and just look at this. Well, I never know how much to read into the face of Contador, because I never know just what he's thinking, or indeed what sort of messages he's trying to deliver out there. Nibali there as well. Great success for him in Tirreno Adriatico, which has got some proper climbs in it. That's winner, of course, in 2010. Contador here. Oh, it's getting to be a quality field. Contador's with a teammate, of course, and that more than helpful. Who else joining the fun? And Contador decides to just stretch his legs a bit, test out everybody. Nibali there, Chris Froome in attendance. Well, he's got a teammate, and he may well rely on him, just for the moment, shadowing Cadel Evans, the birthday boy. 36 years of age, and proving that he can have an awfully long career and stay right at the top. Maybe his, let's hope, sickness from last year is well and truly a thing of the past. And Contador showing what he's got here. Well, will it be a heartbreaker for those behind? World champion Gilbert. It's not going to be a big feature today. He'll dispatch this. 3.6 kilometres to go then. Turning a big one, and Froome well looked after here. Richie Port doing a proper job for him. On the Tour of Algarve, Richie Port, which also has its mountains, Castilla y León, went well in Romandy, of course. Here's Nibali. Well, it's sorting itself out. We've got some real quality here. Chris Froome is here. Evans just riding the two-carriage Skytrain at the moment. But how much energy is he saving? Just about the same amount as Chris Froome, it seems, here. There is Evans at the back. Froome just in front of him, wearing number 11. Oh, this is quality up front now. Nibali, Contador. Now, they've got to be careful because they're starting to look at each other here and not really relaying. And as a result, they are just tempting other riders to come and join them at the moment. And it's Joaquim Rodriguez that's going to make it move over, and it is. Kind of a joyless time at the moment for Katusha. They're under appeal, don't forget, the Court of Arbitration for Sport, after being thrown off the World Tour. Will they stay on it? If they do, he will stay. If not, then he'll probably go. Right now, he's going to the right-hand side of the road, and Cadel Evans joins him. Nibali sees an opportunity, drifts over. So does Froome. He doesn't need any more help by the looks of things. He's going to go for this himself. And he's had a conversation, just picked up by our radio mics on the motorcycle here, and said, I'm okay, I'm okay. You do your own thing. And so, dispatching his teammate. Richie Porte drifts back. Cadel Evans here. We'll see how much they struggle. If any other riders decide to make this bridge here, they could well do with teammates again. 3 to go, 3:25, and Rodriguez has decided to go off the front here. Froome shakes his head and said, I can't do it. Contador goes. Nibali, what's he got? Evans fancies it as well, but doesn't know whether this is too soon. Joaquim Rodriguez up front, dragging Contador along with him. Contador in that familiar bouncing style as Tony Galopin, just one of those suffering today, nursing that green jersey for Sagan. We'll see who's in the points jersey at the end of the day. And there, Contador straight onto the wheel of Rodriguez, and Froome looking fresh. Oh, this is fantastic stuff. Real cat and mouse then, as we head towards the mountain, and it really hasn't got focused yet, but it's already taking a toll, courtesy of the pace that these boys are showing. Look over the shoulder. He likes to have a real good look into the eyes of his opponents. If he's around, put on the ski goggles. That's the best thing. Froome then picks it up, and he goes off the nose here, dragging along a slightly higher pace with Contador tracking him. Rodriguez in the red Katusha jersey, just behind the blue and yellow of Contador. It's the familiar sky with the blue stripe and the black up front of Chris Froome. 2K to go then. Well, they're messing around. They're spread across the road. Nobody wants to pick it up here. And it is Evans by the barrier. And look who's joined them here. That's Kenny Elissonde, Francis Dejeer with Arnaud Janssen, number 96. Now, these guys aren't too far down in the overall. And if they've got fresh legs, this is going to be a worry. And just double checking for you, 40 seconds for Elissonde, 56 seconds only for Janssen. So these guys have got to be careful. What about the others? Nibali 33 seconds down on Sagan's time at the start of the day. Contador with a 32-second deficit. Evans 40 seconds. Froome 36 seconds. So all kind of very, very close together. Likewise, Elissonde and Janssen. So, has a look. They need some space between themselves and those around them. Don't forget, stage win today carries a 10-second bonus, 10, 6 and 4. That's going to be useful by the end of the day. And as if he's heard us, Cadel Evans just goes over to the side of the road here, and there's others deciding to come and play today. Fascinating stuff. Shop is, it's Noscentini, I beg your pardon, for AG2R. Didn't do Noscentini, 35 seconds down himself. So, sorted out time, boys, and the man to do so is Contador. Now, has he gone a little bit too early here? Well, if he has, he's going to be burning his legs. It's a real test of how your winter training's gone at this time of year, especially in this kind of company as well. Many talking about this as a mini Grand Tour, and with these sort of names up front, well, who'd argue? Amazing palmares to all of these guys. Contador, a Vuelta winner. 2012 Tour de France winner, of course, taking that last year in the Vuelta on his return. And returning to the front here is Chris Froome, runner-up in the Tour de France. Can he go one better this year? Still looking for his first pro stage race win. Unbelievable, really, considering how well he went in France, and starting as one of the favourites, naturally, for this year's event. Right now, he's at the front, and there's nowhere for him to go but up the road, and Contador will ride on his back wheel just for now. Nibali in a close attendance, and Rodriguez. Is it between these four? Everyone else who thought about joining them has kind of been shelled out here. Evans still struggling, but dragging along Elizondo with him from Francis de Jure. And Rodriguez. Don't know how much sandbagging's been going on here. They've sort of been looking at each other, drifting off the back and then rejoining. A real concertina effect. Right now, Cadel Evans looks like he's struggling. But he is an enormous battler. Remember his efforts on the Galibier, just dragging the entire field up that mountain in 2011 when he went on to win. That was a hugely gutsy performance. You know, my admiration, and that's globally for him, and that victory, just absolutely superb. And there, off the front then, Evans still just doing his own pace here and letting the others play the game of cat and mouse, but he is just drifting back a bit. And there is the Flamme Rouge. They found the marker. Now, 1 to go, 6:27. So Froome, has he burned himself out here because he's carrying them at the moment? He doesn't quite like it. He's knocked back the pace, and here's Evans just still like a metronome, just out of the saddle momentarily. Further down the line, time to take on some fluids and just get this one over and done with, because it's about these boys up front. Rodriguez close to the wall, almost in the shadow without anyone noticing, goes off. Joachim Rodriguez makes the attack here for Katusha. He's gone. And Froome starts to weave all over the road. Said, look, I've done loads of work here, fellas. Why not join the party and let's stay as contenders here? And Contador picks it up and drags Nibali along with him. Nibali has a minor attack here. It's running out of road for them. And look at this. There's Elizondo still on their tail, but it looks like he's going backwards right now. Where is Evans? Just off your screen, right-hand side, just nudges in here. And it's Rodriguez, and it looks like it may well be his day unless somebody can do something here. Right now, it's Nibali and Contador just tracking him and tracking each other. Contador, big check over the shoulder, just see what sort of condition Froome is in at the moment. Well, right now, he looks like he's struggling. Oh, we've seen this. His form does ebb and flow on occasion, or at least his delivery through the pedals. But maybe that's deliberate. 500 metres to go. Joachim Rodriguez has gone here, and it looks like it's going to be his day. He's got a super drop on these boys. Froome picks up the pace, suddenly finds some rhythm, tries to make the shock move here, and he does so. Oh, Froome's nailed it here. Look at this. No response coming from Contador or Nibali. Now then, can Froome catch Rodriguez on the run for home here? Rodriguez just bearing onto the left as the road turns that way here. Shortest route through. Has Froome left it too late? Now, it's going to be crucial on countback here as to who is our leader overall. Rodriguez is churning away here. Froome's got to close this gap, the difference between them overall. Let's check it out. Rodriguez, so 1 minute 29 down, so it's not going to be a threat. This could be a race lead for Froome with a bonification if he gets there. He knows that. No, the meter's counting down here. 300 to go, and he rounds the bend here on the right-hand side, shortening the road again and again, and Froome still tries to wind him in here, but I think he's going to run out of time. The road just flattens slightly here within sight of the air bridge and the finish line. Joachim Rodriguez bringing some joy to Katusha, perhaps. He's going to take the day, and Froome looks like he's going to take the lead of this Tour of Oman. Rodriguez finds some more strength here. The strength of the finish line approaching, and he's going to make this one home. There'll be a huge smile for him, and indeed at the dinner table tonight. 25 metres to go, 20, and the rest of it eases off, hits the line. Oh, so slowly, almost at walking pace, and Froome hits the line now. Here's your count back. Count those seconds, they're going to be crucial. Froome just goes to the side of the road as well, and Evans, where did he find that? Digging deep on his birthday, and Evans coming in for third place ahead of Contador here. Evans 22 seconds down on Rodriguez. Froome was within 4 seconds, so 18 seconds advantage over Evans today for Froome. Well, a dramatic day today. Certainly took its toll on some of the big names here. Wiggins crossing line, and there is Sagan in the red leader's jersey. He'll be handing that over. Said it wasn't his kind of day today. And glistening with perspiration he is as he comes across the line here. No breeze to help shed that moisture, but there's your winner today, Joachim Rodriguez. Hugely popular guy, incidentally. Who he will be riding for later on remains to be seen, depends on that court case. Rodriguez then ahead of Froome. Cadel Evans in third place, Contador Nibali fifth ahead of Elizondo, who did a great job. And Chris Froome, he's our leader. What about that? Let's have a chat.
The team did a fantastic job. So Therese standing here in the leader's jersey now feels like an honor to do so.
I like Chris Froome. I like Chris Froome an awful lot. Maybe almost as much as I like Cadel Evans. And so for me, it's a perfect general classification with Froome and Evans 1 and 2 at the moment. Contador 25 seconds down. Hey, loved it. Don't forget, you can see the best of the stages each day, 9 AM in the UK, 10 in Central Europe. I'm Carlton Kirby. See you tomorrow.